Hello everyone, this is a brief tutorial to help you to create your very first podcast, and to do that we're going to use Audacity and the web service Podbean. So to do this tutorial you'll have already had to create an account in Podbean. We won't cover that. So once you've created that, then we'll start here. First of all, if you look down here on a Mac, you'll see down here at the bottom all the different programs. Audacity is the little one that's got the kind of flaming audio lines between the headphones. If you double click on that, up will pop Audacity, and you'll see here it is right here, and it looks pretty basic. And what I'm going to do is open up and start a brand new recording. A couple of things you might want to do first though. You might want to double check down here on the menu bar down here on the bottom. There's System Preferences. If you click on that and go to Sound, you can check and see. Now I'm using this headphone set, so for output and input, it looks, there it is, and we can see I've got some audio coming in, so you can see the meters, and that's the one I'm using. Now if you do this down in the edit bays, which you probably will, then we use what's called an AJA box, and so we'll go through with that and you can see what setting it needs to be on there. You shouldn't need to change too much. You should be able to just open it up. It should be preset, but just in case, that's one thing you can check your system preferences. Again, that's down here on the bottom menu bar, System Preferences. Okay, the next thing under Audacity, you can click on Audacity up here on the upper left and go into Preferences. And we're worried about the audio in and out, and we're not going to worry about the quality for right now. It's usually got a preset that's just fine. But you can see the device again is this headset that I'm using, and for recording it's the same thing. Now you can set it to stereo or mono, but for the most part when you're recording into it, then mono is just fine. You can set it on stereo if you want, and you can see what these other settings are, but they're not really too particular or relevant right now, so that's okay. So right now you don't see any meters or anything going on. I'm talking and it's not recording. To record, all you have to do in Audacity is press the red record button. Once you do, here it goes, and you see some meters right up here, and you'll see the waveform moving along as I talk about this. And so what I'm going to do is going to talk for just a minute or two. You'll have pre-scripted your 60-second podcast, but I'm only going to talk for a few more minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and click the stop button. And when I click the stop button, all I have to do to hear it back is push the play bar. Now when you're in the edit bays, you'll have to adjust the mixer board, and there's some pots that you'll slide up and down so you can hear the audio in there, and we'll go over that in class. And there's also a lab assistant that can help you out if you get confused. So let me hit the space bar, and I can hear this. You can't, of course, because it's coming over my headphones, but you see that it's playing back. Okay, now a couple of tools I want to show you in Audacity. You can read straight through your 60-second podcast and do it just live, but sometimes you might make a mistake, and that's one of the things we don't want to have, because we're all doing digital recording, so there's no reason to have a mistake. So say I make a mistake somewhere, and that's perfectly fine. All I have to do is go back in. If I know the mistake happens to be this section right here, then I highlight it. And I'm using this tool right here. You see up in the upper left, just a marker tool. I highlight it. If I hit the delete button, then that part's gone. And I can go do an edit and undo delete, and it'll show back up. But say you were talking along and you didn't like the last story or the last thing that you did. So you can go ahead and click record again. Before you do that, I would definitely hit this mute button so you're not hearing this recording as you're recording a new one. So here we go. I'm going to hit record again, and voila, there I go. I'm recording again. Now it started right where the playhead was, but I can move that around. I'm going to show you how to do that. So here I am recording again. I'm going to hit the stop button. Okay, now here I am. I have all this space before I started speaking. I really don't want that. So let's highlight that and see if we can't just get rid of that. In fact, here's what we're going to do. See this little tool up here? It's a little move tool. And if I click on that and go over here, I can slide this audio up and down wherever I want. So what I want to do now is say I recorded some and I want to add this onto the very end. I'll slide it down and I'll match it up with my previous recording in the track above it. And I'll unmute that, and then I can play those. Click back on my cursor tool, click that, and I can play it. Now again, it's through my headphones, so you won't hear that again. And so I can match things up. Okay, and I'll show you this in class, but this is a demo that you can use in case you get stuck and you're trying to figure out what to do. Okay, so you're all done. Everything looks great, just the way you want it to be. Under Audacity, and you go to File, and export as MP3, and it has to be an MP3 or it won't play in Podbean. So export as MP3, and it says that your tracks will be mixed down to a single mono channel, and that's fine. Click OK, and I tell it where I want it to save it, and I'm just going to put this on my desktop for right now, and I'm going to call this Podbean test. And it saves it as an MP3 file. So we'll go ahead and save that. And it's going to give me some things I can title it. So Podbean test, and the artist is Brother Howard. You don't have to put any of this information if you don't want, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. And genre is not blues, but how about industrial? It doesn't give me a good genre. And that's okay. Click OK. And here it goes. It'll take just a few seconds because this is a really short file. And now I'm going to go ahead and minimize this. And on my desktop, you'll see here it is, Podbean 3. I'm going to go ahead and open that with QuickTime Player. It should open right up. And there it is. And it will play back.
Here we go. Again, see some meters right up here.
I'm hearing it on my headphones.
Moving along as I
okay.
talk about.
Looks good. So there's on my desktop. Now our next step. Let's go ahead. I've already opened up my Podbean account, and I'm going to go back to, in fact, let me go right back to Podbean. When you first log in, there's my actual site. And let's go back to Podbean. Here's what it looks like when you get there. And go ahead and log in. I've already logged in, but you go ahead and click on login, which is up here, and log in with your username, password, and then it will show up with your username right up here, and mine is Mass Media Talk. I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and it'll bring up this menu right here. Okay, and I'm looking at what I've got. It looks great, and I see this bar up here, menu bar that says add a podcast. It's a tab, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now you can explore this all you want. For this assignment, I just want you to add a podcast, but you can go ahead and change the look of your website and do all kinds of things that you want to do. Okay, and oh, sorry, I want to publish a podcast, not add a podcast. Publish a podcast. Well, once you get there, all you have to do is go to publish a new show. You click on that. It's going to ask you for a couple of things. One, it's going to ask you for a title, and it's going to ask you for a tag. So mine is all about mass media. So that's if someone's searching for it. These are keywords, tags that they can search for. And I'm going to put this as a Podbean test. Now you can add text here if you want. I'm going to just say this is a Podbean test. You can say whatever you want for this particular assignment. And now I'm going to go down here, and it's going to say what type of file, MP3. I'm going to browse for it right here on my desktop. And I've got a lot of stuff on my desktop. So let's see if I can find that. Podbean, where are you? There we go, Podbean test MP3. Open that up, and then I'm going to go ahead and publish it. This one's very short. It will only take a few seconds. Once it's done, there it is. Now I'm going to click on the view site, and as you look at my site that's created, that's the very first thing that's going to show up is the Podbean test. I click the play button, and it will start to play. It's going to sound kind of ridiculous because I just was mumbling around. All right, that's how it's done. So this, hopefully this little podcast will help you as you're putting this together, putting this on Podbean and using Audacity. And we'll review it again in class, so if you have any more questions. All right, that'll do it. Hopefully this helped you out.